Guess what? Today we're going to be talking about how success can ruin relationships. Ain't that right?
What's up, guys? This is 𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗦, and you have reached the 𝗙𝗥𝗥s Ecom channel. If you want to learn how to make money online or offline, then you need to be right here. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller. I'm also an honorably discharged Air Force veteran. Graduated from Penn State and started a career as a software engineer and leveraged that to build my businesses. If you guys have any questions on how to make money, you're going to find all your answers right here, so stay tuned.
So we're here with one of my besties, Dino. Good old speed circuit himself. Cool Dino if you guys know him from the forums and all that. And we're going to be talking about the ways that success can ruin relationships. It happens, all right? It happens, guys. Like, let's just be real here. Let's just be honest. Dino knows. You know, Dino knows he's very successful. He's an entrepreneur himself. You know, software engineer just like I am. Well, I technically was at this point now. Yeah.
You can still do it.
Yeah, I can still do it. You know, maybe not to the level that I should be, but man, these people out here just burning up the day on South Street. It's stupid. But yeah, so success.
Philly's lit right now.
Yo, Philly is lit right now. Minus the rats, I guess. Yeah, so success can ruin relationships if you let them, but pretty much everyone will destroy at least one relationship on the path to becoming successful or self-made. I think I ruined like how many? I mean, I have an ex-wife, I got baby moms, ex-girlfriends.
I'm like Rico's emotional support.
Yes.
Yeah. Calls at 1 a.m. about some crazy drama that just went down.
Yeah, kicking my door.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's not fun. It's not fun.
So the first rule is wear a condom.
Yes. Yeah. Don't be out there just having babies everywhere.
Yeah.
That's not good for business. It's definitely not good for business, especially when you have to start paying child support. Paying a lot of child support now. A whole lot. But we won't get into that. That's for another video. But you know, Dino, explain some of the ways that success has brightened your relationships, because we don't want to talk about all the negative stuff.
I'll start with the good stuff. Basically, status. I've looked pretty much the same my whole adult life. I have a better beard now. That's about it. So
Studly beard.
Yeah, beards help. Beards are. Please edit that.
Beards will fill your face in.
That's it. But no, realistically, I've been pretty much the same person my whole adult life. But as I've gotten more successful, I've gotten more attention from women because they're just attracted to status and money and position. And I'm not trying to say women are gold diggers or whatever, but that's one of the things where it's just like, if you do something that sets you apart, whether you're driving a McLaren like this guy over here.
Okay, Mr. 911.
or whatever, you know, if you have a nice house, or when you go out to the nightclub, you're, you know, popping bottles and you got the VIP and all this kind of stuff, which you shouldn't be doing if it's outside of your means, you know what I mean? But if you get to the point where, you know,
being a VIP,
right, where
ace.
blowing $1,000 on a night isn't a big deal to you, and you're not going to notice it at the end of the month, then it's just, you know, whether you should do it or not is debatable, but it's going to get you attention. And anytime you get attention in general, it's good and it's bad, right? Just like when a woman wears, you know, a sexy dress or something.
The décolletage is hanging out.
Right, she's going to get a lot more attention, and most of that attention is going to be overwhelmingly good, you know, because she's going to, you know, get looks and compliments and all that kind of stuff, but she's also going to get the negative attention from the creepers, right?
Creeper centers.
Right, the guys that are trying to, you know, say inappropriate things or whatever.
Or in Philly, yo ma.
Yeah,
yo,
right.
Yo ma.
Hey, Shody.
Yeah.
You know, so at the end of the day, it's peacocking, right? How do men peacock? Maybe we dress a little better, but we flex with our cars a little bit, or our status, or whatever, and you know, it's going to be good attention and bad attention. You know, if you have a hot car, women might approach you and introduce themselves to you, and that could start into something. But you might also attract some gold diggers. They exist. Yeah. I mean, it's not a, you know,
it's not a secret.
Yeah, they exist. But
I've encountered a couple.
You know, yeah, you're gonna have good come with the bad, no matter what way you get attention.
And he's correct. You know, the more successful you become, the more attention you get, And a lot of the attention is actually overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah,
so a lot of
absolutely.
people will look at it as, oh my God, your life must suck because of all the attention you get, or like how do you deal with everyone asking you all these crazy questions all the time because of your cars? And
They ask you the same 4 questions all the time.
How much does it cost? Is it fast? Does it help you get girls?
Is that a Lamborghini? No,
Yeah.
it's a McLaren.
Yeah, that type of stuff. So,
What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do is always that one. Like whether it's male or female.
Right.
It's usually
Sure.
like guys will ask that one. Females don't necessarily ask that as much. But they're like, oh my God, that's nice. Women don't really ask questions now I think about it. It's more just like a status thing. We're like, oh my God, that's nice.
Right.
They don't really ask like what I do.
It's funny. It's because
I don't think they care. They're like, look,
they don't care about the means. They care about the end
Yeah,
more. I think.
they just care about the end goal. They're
Right.
like,
Where the guys care about the means because they want to be like you, right? And here's another thing I want to touch on, and this kind of sucks, and this kind of sucks to talk about, but I saw a meme like a month ago, and I posted it on Facebook, and I think you might have liked it. And it basically, in summary, it basically said, if you're a woman, a lot of people care about you for all these different reasons, but if you're a man, society doesn't really care about you unless you're accomplished. If you're not accomplished and you don't make money,
your mama
society
cares about
doesn't.
you.
Yeah, right. Like people don't fucking care about, and that sucks because it's just like to be a man in this society where you're kind of worthless unless you're accomplished or something. That sucks, and maybe that's part of the reason guys like us try to be extra because we want to make sure we're valued. I don't know, but.
I mean, it's true in a certain aspect.
Right.
I mean, Dino's not lying. If you guys look at men, ladies, we're gonna exclude you from this little segment so you guys can go get a break, go get some green tea, some Earl Grey, whatever you guys are gonna do. But men, let's face it, if you are making $9-10 an hour, if you're on a dating website, if you're on, I don't know, we'll say on dating apps, Tinder, Match, Bump, whatever you're on, if you're not super high value, females can tell, and your matches are probably not near as high quality as someone who's making bank, as someone who has fun pictures from vacations or cars or just different things that they're doing that showcases some of their financial status. If you're short and dumpy looking, you're probably not getting a lot of matches. But if you look like Chris Hemsworth, you probably matching everybody. It doesn't matter if the girls are attractive or not. Everyone's checking for you. If you drive a Lamborghini and it's showcased, chances are your options are going to be larger. The pool that you can date from is larger based on your status. And I know a lot of guys will say, "Oh no, bro, I get chicks, I get females." Ask yourself, how many of those females are top tier? How many of those females are published in Vogue? How many of those females, have 1 million followers? How many of those females are, super successful? Whether they're doctors, lawyers, things like that. I'd venture to say that the majority of them are not. I'd venture to say that, if you're making, $9-10 an hour, the girls that you're interacting with probably make somewhere around that. Maybe a little bit more if they're, at that level, but you're not getting the cream of the crop,
So not to cut you off, but one thing I want to interject, pretty much any girl I've ever asked the question of, would you date a guy who makes less money than you? They almost universally say no.
Yeah, it's like a universal truth. They're like, nah, I don't really date.
Because
It's a status thing.
because
When
like
you're
we're
younger,
supposed to be the providers is
yes,
what it comes down
it's
to.
true.
Right?
Now, women will date down when they're younger because they don't know any better.
Right, it's when they're younger, but when they get older,
Oh no, like fellas, I know you've seen them dating profiles where all these women in their 30s, 40s, whatever. What do they say? I know my worth. I'm a catch.
right.
I'm not gonna settle. I'm not doing any of this. Because they've already done it. They've already settled for the guys who make $9 an hour. They already know that there's no future. It's just done. Like it's a brick wall. They're just driving a really fast car and gonna hit a brick wall at a certain point. So that's why they no longer want to do those things. And you got to put yourself in a position to win, fellas. Like you got to put yourself in a position to win. And it sucks because the more successful you are, there's gonna be women that come along that may not have the best intentions.
Right, they're in it for them.
They're in it for them, and it will kind of ruin things for you as far as relationships go because they're using you for what you can provide. They're
Right.
not necessarily super interested in you as a person.
So maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I was seeing this girl. I'm not gonna bring up her name, but you'll probably figure out who I'm talking about in a minute. because Rico was there. But basically, this girl was super pretty. One of these Instagram girls who had tons of followers and whatever. And
oh no, is that? Woo!
Yeah.
We're in for a ride on this.
So
one.
we're casually dating. We're seeing each other maybe once a week for a couple months, something like that. And it got to the point where I started to kind of break things off from her, and she got like kind of bent out of shape, and she's like, oh well, I want to be with you. I want to wife you up, and I want to take care of you and all this stuff. And I'm like, but her and I never had any real connection. Like, we got along and stuff, but we were not on the same page with a lot of things, and just, our outlooks on life and our personalities, like, we'd get along, but it wasn't like we were going to, like, fall madly in love. But, she was younger and, just had a regular job or whatever, and she probably saw me. This is just me guessing. I don't really know.
I don't know. I was there. I saw from the outside.
But, like, yeah, she took good care of me in some ways, but, like, I kind of felt like she saw me as a meal ticket.
I don't know. That yellow thing definitely attracted a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We used to get in fights in that thing all the time.
Like, so one time, me and Rico went to Atlantic City.
Yeah, this is a sidebar.
This is side
so
story.
this is hilarious though.
And
scary at the time.
There were some girls that that I knew, and they were going out to AC one night, and I took Rico was coming down to hang out for the weekend or whatever. And I was like, hey, let's go meet up with these girls, whatever. And we hung out, and at the end of the night, we're going back home. We're leaving the casino. And as we're driving, down the street, there was some guys that were like walking out onto the street for some reason. Like
they were heavily intoxicated.
Yes. And as I drove by them in my older Porsche, which is like a yellow Cayman S, this one guy basically threw a bottle at the ground, like aggressively, kind of like throwing his hands up at us for like no reason.
Yeah,
like,
it was
we didn't
stupid.
do anything. And so like I stopped the car. Because I'm like, oh, hell no. Yeah. And before I could even take my seatbelt off, Rico was out of the car and, like, in this dude's face. So, like, I had to, like, stop the car, pull the
He doesn't
brake.
even know what's going on.
Yeah,
He's like, what the hell's happening here? Like, yeah.
Yeah, so basically I catch up and, like, it's some drunk dude trying to, like, fight and for no reason.
Yeah.
And then, I came up and then, they realized, okay, this is 2-on-2 now.
Yeah.
And
the girlfriend saying it, and at this point I'm like, I'm just gonna pick this beer bottle up because it was a perfectly solid neck, so it didn't break the neck. Like the neck was still intact, but sharp enough to where I was like, look, dude, I'm just gonna pick this up.
Rico was about to
in
get
the throat.
stabby.
Yeah, and I'm like, like it was unnecessary,
and it was just some stupid shit that like I tend to keep my cool in those situations, and Rico's like a trained soldier, so he like if you push him too far.
Everyone knows I'm like the coolest person. I'm so laid back. Like, it takes a lot to really rile me
I've never
up.
seen Rico pissed off at anyone who wasn't like directly threatening like one of us, basically. But like, so. But at the end of the day, like number one, we got to be careful for those situations because if we have things to lose and they don't, like that's But at the end of the day, this guy's girlfriend basically pulled him away and said, hey, come on, let's go, you're starting shit. But yeah, for some reason, man, like
that car was just like it was bad juju for fights.
Yeah,
we would take it out. It was just weird.
Yeah, people just get like, fuck this rich guy in the
Yeah,
car. That was a $30,000 car, by the way.
Yeah.
I bought a $30,000 used Porsche, but because it was yellow, everyone thought I was a millionaire.
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially, but that goes back to status thing though.
Yeah.
It goes like the perception of this is a Porsche, and this guy is successful. I want that.
Right.
I want this guy.
Yep.
I mean, women are choosy, fellas. Women are choosy.
I'm gonna tell you another dating story with that Porsche. There was this stunningly beautiful woman that I met for a date, and it was in that car, and it was in Philly. It was actually not far from here. And things were going pretty good or whatever, but like it was one of those things where she was like definitely out of my league, and I'm just like, I'm gonna try whatever I can.
Fellas, it happens, right? Sometimes we get lucky. Like we're batting 1,000 sometimes. You might get a 9 or 10.
So like we go to dinner or whatever, and we're I'm going to drop her off at her place, and things are going well, but not like, she's not like hanging all over me type of thing. And I remember I'm at like a stop sign or something, and we're near her house, and some guy was like, yo, bro, that car is fucking sick. Oh, is that a twin turbo 911? And I'm like, no. But like, I don't want to tell him like this car is worth like a third of what you think it is, But like, just the fact that some random dude on the street is hyping me up because of the car, like she took notice to that. And then all of a sudden it was, oh, you want to come in? Fuck yeah, I want to come in. Like,
why not? I would like a nightcap. But guys, that's what it is. It's the perception of status. I mean, whether you have it or don't have it, that remains to be seen. But having status will help you. Now, this segment is for the ladies, and I'm gonna have to tell y'all, ladies, I was a douche back when all this happened. Because I was coming into my own at that point. Dino's been there for a lot of it. He saw the rise,
right.
like going from.
He was a kid in the candy store.
At one point, yeah. I was a kid in the candy store. I was getting more notoriety. I was making more money. I was transitioning from just like the whole software engineering thing.
Plus the thing is, you came up much more abruptly than I did.
Yeah, so
like you've been grinding for a long time, but your stock shot up straight, whereas mine was more of a
like his has been very linear, like strong growth. Mine went from like, okay, we're having a boom, and then all of a sudden
like out of control,
just out of control. And so when that happened, I'm like, I didn't know how to handle it. I'd never been in that position before. So ladies, I'm telling you right now, so guys who get a lot of success very early, very quickly, we generally do not value relationships the same. We generally will not value your time the same. It's sad to say, but we just don't, because number one, we're grinding so hard, and we can't see the forest from the trees. All we can see is, look, I got to do this because I got to make money. I got to do this because it's my business. I got to make money. I got to keep making money. I don't know how long this is going to last. And we don't focus on anything else. But again, with that success brings competition to you. It brings other women. It brings, in some cases, like higher tier women. If you got 1 million followers on IG, like a lot of people are going to think you're the man. So it might give you an opportunity to date girls that would potentially be out of your league if you were not successful or had some form of status. So knowing that, I just didn't value the connections that I was trying to make. If a girl would cancel or something, or maybe, wouldn't treat me the way that I wanted, I was just like, whatever, I can go get a dozen more of you. I'm like, I can go drive this supercar around, go get, another half dozen just driving down South Street, and it made for a very toxic situation. I was not mentally prepared. I was not mentally ready for that, because growing up black, like no one ever thinks you're gonna make it. So I'm like, I didn't think I was gonna make it, especially to this level. So I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the ramifications of what that does to a man in that mindset, and then to the women that are involved. Like I left a path of destruction during that time. He was there, like he saw a lot of the stuff that was happening, and he was like, you gotta reel this in. Yeah, we gotta reel this in. This is not good. This is not a good look. You're gonna get stabbed in the chest at some point.
Rico is 100% gonna get stabbed.
Yeah, he's right. I was probably going to end up getting stabbed at some point. So, he had to reel me back in, because, I made a lot of bad decisions. It was always like the same decision over and over and over.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was the same mistake over and over and over, and I just was not correcting it.
So one of Rico's complexes, which I have a little bit of too, is like Rico has like a hero complex. He wants to be everyone's hero. And that's an admirable thing, but sometimes
I'm a hero.
Yeah, right. It doesn't always work out as planned.
No, it does not. It does not. There were some people that did not need to be saved.
Right.
Nope. Sometimes you just got to let people drown. And ladies, a lot of guys who are in that position, you got to work with them. You have to understand that it is new for them. They don't know how to take it. So they're trying to adjust the best way that they can. I was trying to adjust as best as I could, but so many things were happening so quickly, I just couldn't. I just couldn't handle all of it. I couldn't handle the pressure from business, number one. Mm-hmm. I couldn't handle the pressure from, I guess you could fans on social media. Like right. There's hundreds of DMs a day. There's all these moving parts. There's, people that I've never talked to before now, celebrities and all this stuff, and all these different things are just bubbling over. And I couldn't handle it. I was like a kid in a candy store. There were so many different things. I just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And so it was just ruining my relationships. It was because I just did not value.
You didn't
that.
value them. You didn't put the work in.
I wasn't willing to put the work in, you know. And
especially if you're dating a couple girls at the same time, you spread them thin, you know.
Yeah, if you're spreading your time thin, you're spinning plates and stuff, like, you don't necessarily care. Ladies, it's the truth. Like, dudes will not care at a certain level. Like, when they're going through all these things, like, we don't really care who we hurt. You know, we're just so focused on us. We're one-track minded. And it's not like, oh, I just want sex. It's just, I'm focused on me. I'm focused on me and what I want. This is what I want. And if you can't be a part of that, then you have no intrinsic value. And success will ruin any hopes of that. You know, as long as that person is still at that phase where things are kind of ballooning, you have no shot at bringing them down. Like, you either need to meet them before that meteoric rise so you guys can kind of rise together, or you got to meet them after everything's done. Like, after all this stuff is done, like, now, cool. Like, you know, like, I was having problems with my, you know, my ex-wife, my baby moms, all this, because I was just ruining stuff, man.
Right.
But now that I went through that phase and I've come out the other end, things are way better. Things are way better. We're cool. You know, like, I'm much more effective as a dad. I'm not so focused on, like, the business aspect. I'm, you know, better friend, better, you know, like, because there was even points, like, I was ruining our friendship just because I was so busy doing these things, and then I was screwing things up with my baby moms, so they were putting limits on me, and then the limits would impose on, like, me being there on time and all this stuff. So, like,
right, yeah, we're trying to hang out. We have plans. Rico's supposed to be down at 1 o'clock.
Can't be down.
Baby mom is playing games to piss him off. Honestly.
Yeah, essentially, like, to make me
because
mad.
she's hurt.
You know,
and then Rico's like 9 hours late, and it's just like, bro. Like,
yeah. So it's just like all these moving parts, and, you know, it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
It really doesn't have to be that way, and success should be shared, you know. And I think that's another thing that men don't do when we become successful. A lot of times we won't share it. You know, we're just really greedy. You know, we don't want to help other men get into the position. We don't want to be good wingmen, and we don't want to share it with females.
Because men are competitive.
You know, we're ultra competitive. Dino's super competitive. You know. Everyone knows Dino is super competitive. Yeah, we can't go-karting. When we go go-kart, they don't put anybody else on the track besides our groups.
They're just like, we will run people the fuck over to come in first place.
Yeah, it's bad. Like, they put those 2 people on there that one time?
Oh yeah, it was like 2. So usually when I go, so I'm a racer.
Yeah.
I know people on this channel don't know me, but I'm a race car driver and
literal race car driver.
And I'm an instructor. But, like, I'm not a professional. No one pays me to do it. I'm just an amateur who's good at it and has the license to do it. But when I go go-karting on, like, the high-speed go-kart tracks, not these little, like, boardwalk things, I'll go with a lot of my racer friends, and we're competitive, man. And we're like, I need to beat you by 1/10 of a second because that's a mile, you know. And one time I think it was me, Rico, and another couple people, and the people running the track. Normally, what they do is they only put they know who we are, and they will only put the racers on the track. Because putting us together with like regular people,
it's not fun.
It's dangerous. Yeah. It's actually dangerous because we're going to be going so much faster, and they don't know how to get out of our way essentially, and then it's just a lot of accidents. So one time we went, it was me, Rico, and a couple other people, and they mixed in some like regular people with us, and you can't like. They're crashing like every other lap. They have to like shut down the thing, and we're just basically trying to avoid crashing into these people as we're passing them. But the problem is that a regular person, so good racers don't have egos. If I see someone behind me at a race coming up behind me and they're on my ass, I'll generally get the fuck out of their way because if they're faster than me, I want to learn from them. I want to follow them.
Follow that line.
I want to see what I'm doing. But the regular person has this ego, has this dream that they're, Mario Andretti, and
see how that turned out.
Yeah, they don't want to let people pass them, and so you'll have someone who's truly fast behind one of these average people, and they'll make a lot of mistakes trying to block you from passing them, and they don't understand the limits of the car, and they'll spin out and hit a wall and really do some damage. And it's just like, dude, check your ego at the door. If someone's on your ass for a full lap, it's probably not because they're slower than you or the same speed as you.
It's much faster than you.
They probably made up a deficit to catch you, and you're blocking them the whole time, especially if they're constantly bumping you from behind. So we could probably like segue this into some kind of analogy in life.
Yeah, I mean,
but like basically,
that's pretty much it in real life, guys. Like, don't be that guy. Like, if you see people are on the come up, and they have potential, like, don't block them.
And learn from them. Just because someone is currently behind you doesn't mean that you can't learn from them anyway. You know what I mean? I could be slower than someone and still teach them something. They just might be faster in different areas or better in different areas, right? So
I've learned a lot from people that I didn't think were better than me in certain aspects, but I'm like, yo, this
never have the attitude that you can't be taught and that you can't be wrong. You should always be questioning yourself.
It's true. And that comes with, the whole like success thing. Like you can be wrong, guys. Fellas, like we are wrong a lot. Like I will be the first one to admit, like we're wrong. And when we're wrong, it's usually not by like a little bit. Like usually we're making major mistakes because the success kind of blinds us to areas of faults. Where we're so successful that like, look, man, you ain't gotta worry about this shit.
Right.
Like we're good. Like what do you know? Like what do you know? It becomes an ego thing, and I have to remind myself to check that ego at the door. I have to be mindful to check that at the door because it is not helpful. It's not helpful to friends. It's not helpful to dating partners, to my children, to the relationships with their moms. Like sometimes you just gotta suck it up. And that's gonna be the key part to having any form of success. You have to recognize how little you actually know in order to become successful. Like Dino is probably one of the best tuners in the whole entire world when it comes to Evo 10 platform. But it took him years to get there. It's not something you just wake up one day and you're a badass tuner. We see people on the internet do that all the time.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh man, I made 1,000 horsepower with this car, bro. I know what I'm doing.
Right, but it doesn't idle.
It doesn't idle for shit. Like there's a certain tuner out in New York that they build fast Evos and DSMs, but they're only good at the track. Those things can't idle for shit. We actually got one of their cars in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
we got one of their cars in, and I mean, people hype this dude up. His tunes are garbage. Let's call it what it is. Tunes are garbage. Like drivability, terrible. But he won't let anyone help him fix that issue.
Because look at the quarter mile.
Yeah, look at the quarter mile time.
But shit.
Yeah, but all these other cars, they can't idle for shit. Like they can't idle. They make no power except for at the track. It's kill mode at the track, and then everything else just fucking sucks. So that's an analogy where you got to check that shit at the door. Check your egos at the door. Be willing to learn. Be willing to accept the fact that you may screw up. And ladies, work with us. Like if you see us, in an area and we're struggling, don't take it out on us. Like kind of walk with us on that and be like, look, this is where you're messing up. Let me help you. Let me help you solve that. And men, like we gotta check the egos at the door. And we have to be willing to accept help. And like. I wouldn't be here at this level if it wasn't for Dino correcting me in a lot of the things that I was doing wrong. If I just been like, man, fuck it, you don't know what you're talking about. Guess what? I'd probably be stabbed in the chest right now.
You'd 100%.
Yeah, like 100%.
We'd be in the hospital. He'd be hitting on the nurses.
Yeah, it was bad at one point, man. And luckily, having good people around can help you with that. So, that being said, man, hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This is my man here. Make sure you guys check out Speed Circuit. Why you guys not doing that stuff, man? Check out Speed Circuit on Instagram. Go to speedcircuit.net so you can start buying some parts.
That's right.
Gotta make some money. That'll be another thing that we can talk about in the future video. Like how do you have a 6-figure Shopify store without any ad spend? I keep telling you guys like it is possible, and I keep trying to show you, but nobody want to pay attention to that. So that's for another video. We'll probably do it down at the shop. Actually, once the downpipes are done, the McLaren.
Yeah. Oh. Those are on the way.
Woo!
Yes.
Yo, you guys are gonna see some real fast McLaren stuff.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, we about to get the tunage going. Yo, you guys are gonna want none of the sauce. You only gonna want none. All that regular ass traffic out there. See, this is exactly why I was getting close to getting stabbed in the chest. All right, people, man. Yo, be safe, be smart. We gotta get out here. We gotta get something to eat. We're gonna go get some cheesesteaks. Sucks if you guys can't get me. All right. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe and all that stuff. And click the links below. All right. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.